Welcome to the Dr. Grant Show. I'm Dr. Kirsten Grant, and today we're going to talk about taking control of your life by starting with your health. Often, our well-being is the foundation upon which everything else is built. By mastering your health, you can unlock your full potential and achieve your life goals. In this video, I'll guide you through 4 essential steps that will empower you to take charge of your health and consequently your life. Let's get started on this transformative journey together. Step 1, identify the problem. There's an importance in recognizing and acknowledging health-related issues that are preventing you from moving forward. For example, one of my clients struggled with extreme fatigue. They didn't know that it was due to hormonal changes due to perimenopause. Once we discovered what that was, then we created a plan. And that allowed her to execute on her health goals as well as boosting her energy so she could show up in the workplace the way she wanted to instead of the way that she had hoped to. Next, let's talk about techniques for self-assessment and identifying specific areas that need improvement. Here are several questions that you should ask yourself during your self-assessment. For example, when I wake up in the morning, how am I feeling? Am I looking forward to my day or not? Another great example and question that you should be asking yourself would be, what are my goals for the next 90 days in work, play, hobbies, relationships? What are my goals? What would make me happy? These are great starter questions to start off with. And then from there, you can begin to expand things out and learn more about what truly lights your fire. Stop doing what you should be doing and find out what it is you want to do. Step 2, ferret out the real root of the problem. Let's delve into uncovering the underlying causes of health challenges, such as emotional triggers or lifestyle factors. For example, I had one male client that was looking to improve his health. As we began talking, he discovered that his biggest trigger was talking to his mother-in-law in the morning, just before going to work. He began to notice a pattern after I recommended tracking the pattern and tracking how he felt through certain events throughout his day. And he noticed that his energy levels dipped and his performance suffered at work every time that he spoke to his mother-in-law. Now, I'm not saying not talk to your mother-in-law. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is find ideal times and get the psychological tools to be able to go into the conversation fully packed, locked, and loaded with understanding and standing in your power. So this way, no matter what a person says to you, whether you agree or disagree with them, your whole world doesn't fall down around your shoulders and your performance at work doesn't suffer, because it's all about how you show up and how you are acting in this life to achieve your goals. No one else can do that but you. But you need, and a lot of people, they need the tools. Next, let's discuss the role of somatic psychology in understanding and addressing these root causes. You want to know one of the reasons why somatic psychology works compared to affirmations? It's because affirmations only touch upon the surface. It doesn't dive deep into the underlying emotions that are usually powering the reason why you have the value and belief system that you have in the first place. When one says affirmations, one applies a very calming and soothing balm to a certain wound or a certain situation. But meanwhile, on one end, your brain is saying, yep, this sounds great. But on the other hand, your brain is also saying, I don't believe you. Until you get both sides, your conscious and your subconscious mind, on board, there's always going to have that feeling as if you're trying to drive with the emergency brake on. And in essence, you get nowhere and you wind up suffering and struggling and feeling as if there's something there sabotaging your efforts. But once you begin to understand the in-depth emotions behind certain ideas, values, beliefs, you'll begin to understand why you're not gaining traction in certain aspects of your life. And somatic psychological approaches, they are the ticket and the key, and have been scientifically proven in research to be extremely effective. You just need the practitioner there to help you walk through certain areas. Step 3, identify the trigger and counterbalancing actions. I'm going to help you pinpoint specific triggers that lead to unhealthy behaviors. Are you ready? Let's go. As long as you're in a safe location, close your eyes for a moment and think about the last time you felt angry, maybe you felt attacked, maybe you lost your cool. Close your eyes, take deep breaths in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Now, almost as if you're in a movie theater, I want you to imagine and visualize that image going and playing across the screen as we are sitting here. I want you to see what you saw, feel what you felt, and hear what you heard during that scene. Are you there yet? I'll give you some time. Now, as you're watching that scene play out on that movie theater screen, rewind it a little bit. Take it slow, but rewind it a little bit to the first feeling. When did you begin to feel that feeling deep inside of here or deep inside of here in your stomach area? When did you begin to feel that bubbling? And it depends upon, it's different for everyone, but when did you begin to first feel that unsettling feeling, like you were about to lose your cool? Rewind that scene a little bit more. Look around. What was going on that day? Was there something going on before you entered the room that day? Were you tired? Were you really kind of excited about a conversation that you had the night before where maybe someone said something that didn't agree with you? Did the person say something and you've had a unresolved issue with that person? Maybe you're resentful of that person for something. You just never been able to pinpoint exactly what or why. Was the temperature of the room okay? Was it too hot? Was it too cold? Were you sleep deprived? Was the person that you were speaking to sleep deprived and just having a bad day? All of these things are key areas for you to analyze when I ask you to see what you saw, feel what you feel, and hear what you heard. By taking this post-mortem approach, it ensures your success the next time you encounter a situation like this. Now, let's take it one step further. Allow the scene to play out, but this time you're going to act differently. Identify the behavior and the words that you wish that you could have said or should have said in that situation. And then place yourself, visualize yourself actually in the movie, looking through that scene all over again through your own eyes. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt. But this time, just before that bubbling feeling, just before that feeling that's deep down inside of you that lets you know you're about to blow or you're about to let them have it, capture that feeling right then and begin to exhale all the heat and all the pressure out now. And count down just for a total of 5 simple seconds. Just 5 seconds is enough for you to pause and take note of where you are and begin to rein in your thoughts. If you need extra incentive or motivation, you can always pick a certain place on the body to press and remind yourself. You can pick the area of your palm, it's very nice and discreet, or the top of your hand. And the next time this situation or a similar situation to it begins to occur, remind yourself, step 1, exhale. A deep exhale, emptying out your belly, feeling and noticing the warmth of your breath for 5 seconds, followed by the additional bonus of maybe you take one finger, perhaps your pointing finger here, and discreetly press the underside of your palm as you are exhaling for those 5 seconds. It's very discreet. You can clasp your hands just like so and switch up to your thumb and pick a different finger, or you can just simply hold your hands just like this and discreetly press the inside of your palm. And this reminds you, bring yourself back, bring yourself back. It's giving your brain a subtle signal, once again, to bring yourself back. Just this simple act will allow you to show up more powerfully in meetings, in conversations, relationship conversations, important conversations, no matter who it is, even if it's something as simple as a conversation that looks like it's going sideways with your local cashier. The key here is to constantly monitor and be in touch with how you feel. Let's talk about methods for providing support and nourishment to break free from psychological triggers. We just covered a few. Now, the next thing is to identify, compared to your life goals, what triggers seem to keep off-railing you. I once had a client that had a challenge with anger, and they just describe themselves as an angry person. Do you know anyone like that? That they just often say either they're keeping it 100 or they're very authentic and they're just an angry person? It's not that they're angry. Anger is simply a shell. If I use my hand here, this is anger. Underneath this shell lies guilt, shame, and a lot of unspoken words and unfulfilled promises. When you begin to understand the components of these things, life becomes easier and simpler, and the puzzle becomes easier to solve. But first, you have to understand that you are not your emotion, and learn, how can you be nourished? Let's stop with describing ourselves with our emotions. If you're describing yourself as an angry person, ask yourself, how does that help you and benefit you? Maybe at one point in time, it did help and benefit you according to your goals. But now it's beginning to feel like a weight that you're lugging around. So identify where the real hurt is. Where did this anger begin to start? And you will be halfway there to identifying what you truly want. It's also important to find a supportive environment and create tailored wellness practices for the point, time, and phase of your life that you're currently in. Some things, as you begin to advance, it's almost like riding a tricycle. You begin to take those training wheels off. So, which environments do you find that you feel nourished? Which environments do you find you feel like you're blossoming, like you're soaring? Schedule time to break out of your routine rut and spend more time in those environments. These are the areas that you'll begin to discover. When you spend more time in those environments, you'll begin to discover what truly nourishes you. Now, let's talk about implementing the steps, practical tips, and real life examples. I'm going to give you actionable advice on how to implement each step effectively. So, step 1, we've talked about identifying your values and your belief systems. Step 2, we've also spoken and talked about and dived into identifying what is it that you really want. Another third area that we've talked about that's important is to begin to distance yourself from the way that you previously described yourself if the way that you described yourself no longer serves you, i.e., an angry person. Maybe that served you in the past to be known as the angry person or the authentic person, the no filter person. But now it's in the way. Identify where these things came from. Where did this begin to first pop up in your life? Now, create your lighthouse. Create what it is that you really want and who you'd have to be and who you'd have to show up as in order to get there. And then finally, you'll begin to sever that neurological connection. Now, we have plenty of tools that we use in our wellness practice to quickly and easily sever that connection and knowing when to apply certain tools and when not. And you see, the beautiful thing about this is using the Phoenix 6 method, it's customizable and tailor-made to what it is that you need. We've had so many client successes. We're eager to share this practice because you don't have to struggle anymore with where you want to be, lovingly and longingly looking at it, but somewhere deep in your mind, something whispering to you and telling you that it's an impossibility. You no longer have to live that life. If it's important enough to you to finally make it easier for you to step into that version of yourself and show up the way that you want to, effortlessly, simply, and feel truly supported, then feel free to reach out to our wellness practice. Much love to you. Bye.